Welcome to Power User with Crash Long Johnson. That's me. This episode, we're going to do CAT2 Power Apps Duplicate Item with Automate. In this video, we're going to show that, hey, I got my Power App. I got an item in my Power App that, hey, I don't want to have to resubmit it again, but I just want to be able to duplicate that item so it could be worked on again. So let's say you might have something where, a submission was done, but it's a repeating submission that has a repeating time frame. And instead of that having to be submitted every single time so it can be tracked, you just want to be able to copy and duplicate that one particular item. We're going to show you how to do that with inside Power Apps utilizing Automate. So that said, let's get started. Jump over to the computer. Now that we're at the computer, you see that I have a SharePoint list opened up here. Now what we're looking at is more where a submitter submitted something. So in this case, looking at submitting, hey, I need an expense report or a time log or a fleet report. What type of report is needed? Is it recurring, yes or no? Recurring schedule, monthly, weekly, quarterly, etc. And then status that it's in. A couple are completed, one's pending. Now, what we want is, let's say the expense report that's monthly that Crash Jr. needs, and it's completed, but I'm going to be working on that, and I don't want to have to sit there and manually either have it where Crash Jr. is having to resubmit that every time, or basically I just want to be able to copy that, duplicate that, so that I can work on it when the next month comes up. Now, I don't have this completely built out, maybe in your scenario, they're also telling you what day that needs to be done by, so that way there's more details. But just for simplicity, just want to show the concept. So let's go ahead and jump over to our Power App. We just basically have a standalone Canvas app here in our Power App Studio. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some data connected here. So let's go ahead and get our SharePoint data connection. We're going to go ahead and get Crash Long Jones. And we're going to get the CAT2 Power App Duplicate Item list. Now that's connected. Let's go ahead and insert, and we're just going to do a gallery. We're going to go ahead and connect that to our data source. And then we're going to change up this to title body. And we're also going to change some sizing here. Copy that. Make a little bit more room. Pieces. We got Excel. Let's see this one. We're going to say if it's recurring dot value. This one, we're going to say duplicated from. This is going to be duplicated. All right, so there we go, because we're going to basically looking at hey, is it recurring, yes or no, where it was duplicated from, so what item, and then if it was duplicated, yes or no, which means have we even duplicated that particular one. All right, so as you can see, again, it's not going to be fancy with a bunch of extra labels. It's just more trying to grasp the concept that I'm sharing here. Let's go ahead and add in a icon. I'm just going to pick, we'll put this over here, but we're going to change this. Let's get a copy. We're going to change our 8th Then we're going to do some padding. Go. We're going to keep that. We could do one other step just to show here. We can do our visible. Let's go ahead and change our visible that we only want to know the copy is visible if it is reoccurring. So let's actually update some stuff here just like we should. We got our icon, copy, and the body that we're after. Let's rename this one. This one's going to be our text. Then we're going to do recurring. And there we go. So let's go back up to our icon for visible. We're going to say if text recurring dot text s true. And let's try putting that in quotes. There we go. Now what we have is, hey, that's only going to be visible. Back to our on select here. So that's only going to be visible if the reoccurring is yes. As you see, this one's no, so it's not visible. All right. Well, how are we going to make it where if I click the on select to have it where it's going to duplicate one of the expense report? So in our case, we're looking at just any of these that are repetitive. So we're going to go ahead and go over here in our pane. We're going to do our Power Automate. And we're going to create a new flow. We're waiting for it to create here. We're going to create from blank. We're going to do a new step. We're going to get item. We need the item that we're actually copying. So we're going to go ahead and pick our site address, which in my case, Crash Long John's. Our list name is our app duplicate item. And the ID, we're going to ask in Power Apps. We'll come back to that when we get back to the Power App once our automate is created here. We're going to do a new step. This one, we're going to create item. We're once again going to pick our Crash Long John's site. We're going to pick our duplicate item list name. Now we're going to kind of plug in the details. So for our create item, we're going to get our title. For submitter claims, we're going to enter a custom value, and we're going to look at submitter, and we're going to do display name. For report needed value, we're going to enter custom value. We're going to put in our report needed value. Our recurring value, we're going to pick that from the recurring value field from what has been filled in. Our schedule, we're going to also enter custom value. Scheduled value. Our status value, we're going to actually set this one as new because we're creating the new item. Duplicated from, we're going to get the ID. And our duplicated value, we are going to say no at this time. So it has not been duplicated because this is going to be a brand new item. We're going to do one more step. We're going to do update item. We're going to also pick our Crash Long John site again. We're going to get our duplicate item. We're going to get our ID, which is going to be from, again, from our create item ID. Actually, not from our create item ID, excuse me, our get item ID, because we want the information that we're getting it from. That's the one we want to update. And we want to say duplicate duplicated value as yes, because this one has been duplicated. All right, so let's go ahead and title this. We're going to say this is going to be dupe item. And we're going to go ahead and save our automate. All right, that is being loaded here. All right, we have our automate dupe item created. Now we're going to go back to our gallery and we're going to highlight, click on our copy icon. And for our select parent, what we're going to do, first off, we are going to set a variable. So we're going to set, we're going to say var copy, and we're going to get this item. So the item that we're actually clicking, we're going to do our semicolon. And now we are going to pull in our automate to have it run. So we're going to do dupe item run. And we're going to say var copy. We're going to put dot ID and close parentheses. There we go. So now let's do one more. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more icon in here. Just so that way you can get it to reload when we play this. So I'm just going to refresh our list that's connected to our data connecting, that's our list to this. Let's go ahead and play this. So we're going to go ahead and copy or duplicate the expense report. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. That is run. So we're going to go ahead and refresh. And there we go. So there's our expense report, Crash Jr. from item number 1. And this one has not been duplicated. And now if we look, this one has been duplicated. So there you go. That's how you can utilize Power Automate inside the Power App to be able to duplicate or copy an item that you need to be able to work on again over and over. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thank you for stopping by. Till next time, keep learning.